Hey guys, hope you're doing well. So today, this activity would have been a lab that we would do at school. So unfortunately, obviously, we can't do it. But I'm going to offer up a way that you can do this at home, and then you're going to kind of follow along and make some observations and draw some conclusions based on this lab that I've put together here. So the first, what we're talking about this week is about water and how water can be made impure when it becomes contaminated. So first thing is you really need to think about what does it mean, what is a contaminant, and what does it mean for water to be contaminated. And the conclusion that you should have hopefully just come to is that water is contaminated when it becomes impure. So pure water is just water, right? But if you contaminate that water sample or contaminate any substance, you are adding something to it that is not the substance. And that small impurity is what causes water to be contaminated. So the reality is that we're contaminating our water source like all the time. Anytime you put something down the drain, anytime that water rains and it goes into the ground. When you cook with water, if you make coffee, again, you are adding things to water that make it no longer pure water. And a lot of times that's totally okay. But there are a lot of substances that contaminate our water that are unsafe and that we wouldn't want to have be in our consumption. So what to complete this lab, really all you need to do is get some sort of container, preferably be clear, fill them up with water, and then choose 6 household substances that you might regularly, accidentally or purposely mix with water to contaminate it. So I have 6 samples today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of shake them up, show them to you, and I'm going to ask that you record some observations, draw some conclusions about what you think might be going on. Okay, so here we have sample 1. I'll add to you that the smell, it doesn't really have a smell at all, but so it's clear, you can see through it. There were maybe some solids down at the bottom, but I do not really see any anymore. So what do we think might have contaminated this water sample? All right, here's number 2. All right, so still see-through. However, looks like there's some bubbles at the top. Again, it is transparent. I can see through it. Smelling it. It certainly smells like some sort of cleaning, some sort of cleaning substance. So yeah, what do we think number 2 is? Number 3. So clearly when I shake it up, it is becoming definitely cloudy. I cannot see through the substance. I notice chunks of things floating inside of it. As it starts to settle, some things are separating and floating on the top. Some are settling down at the bottom. Smelling this one, definitely smells like natural substances, so like wood or dirt or different things like that. So it's sample number 3. Here is sample number 4. So I'm going to mix it up. I can see through this substance, but if you pay attention, you'll notice that there are some bubbles, but also some discoloration. It is pretty much all up at the top. And it appears that there's like almost this like layer of whatever this substance is at the top, forming at the top. Okay, so this is number 4. Smelling it, it smells like an oil. It smells like some sort of oil that you've used for cooking. All right, sample number 5. This one's real dirty. Okay, it is super cloudy. You cannot see through it at all. There appears to be some solids, but also lots of dissolved. Oh yeah, there's the solids. You can see that right there at the bottom. But also lots of just dissolved chunks that make this super cloudy. So as we talk about water, an important vocab word that we will use often is this idea of turbidity. So what turbidity is just how cloudy or how clear a water sample is. So this is very turbid. You cannot see through it. Smelling this one. I mean, it has a sweet smell. It has like a kind of clean smell. But I don't know. Right, and then our final sample here. So using that turbidity vocab word, it is not perfectly clear, but it's not nearly as bad as the one before us. There's some bubbles maybe that have formed at the top, but not a lot. There do appear to be some chunks inside. You can see those kind of floating around. But it is like clear. There is no color. And then if I smell it, it definitely smells clean. It smells like a soap, almost a fruity smell. And there you have it. So again, we had these samples here. There they are. Welcome to my kitchen. Here are your samples, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So as we've gone through this, I will have stopped you because this is another puzzle, to make some observations, to make some guesses about what you think it is, and to start to think about how could you potentially get this substance, or now that's what I want you to think about, is how would you get this substance out of our water? So this is, I will tell you, salt. Yep. That is just good old salt dissolved in water. So the thought is what processes would you have to do to get that out of your water? Okay. Also knowing what that is it safe to drink salt? Yeah. Okay. Sample number 2. Again, talking about that turbidity, it is super clear, but there's definitely something in this water. So this was a like kitchen cleaning spray. Okay. So again, thinking about what processes would it take to get this out of our water? Because if you think about, you use cleaning spray in your kitchen with a rag, and then you throw that rag into the dish or into the, not dishwasher, into the clothes washer, and that gets into our water system. So what processes might we do to get that out of our water? Okay. Also, do you think this is safe? All right, sample 3. You guessed it, this is potting soil. Again, really interesting, and this is something to think about if you're trying to get big pieces of stuff like this out. Notice that some of it is floated at the top, kind of these big chunky pieces, and then at the bottom it is separated out and is down there. So is this safe? Thinking about that. And then how might we get this dirt and potting soil out of the water sample? All right, number 4. This was, that's not 4, olive oil. So olive oil, obviously something that we use regularly. It is safe for us to consume. I don't know why you'd really want to drink it, but you could. But we're thinking about how do we get this out of our water? What do we think is a process that we could do to get the clean water, the pure water separated from this olive oil? All right, this one's tough. This one is kitty litter. Yuck. Again, it smelled really weird. So obviously probably not something that you want to consume, because there are a whole bunch of chemicals that are in kitty litter to help kind of keep the smell safe or smell away. So how do you think we could get this out of our water? What would we have to do to get this chunk out and the stuff here? How do we clean our water? All right, and then our last sample, this was a coconut hand sanitizer. I pumped a couple of pumps in there. Again, look at that turbidity. It is not clear. So again, like any sort of soap, something that we're washing our hands all the time right now, and then that water is going down the drain, but it's not safe for us to consume. So how do we get that safely out of our water so that we're not drinking that and becoming ill? Okay, so I'm starting to think about how might we get this um, alcohol-based sanitizer out of our water. All right, so again, if you did this at home, it's just something simple and fun that is you could totally lead a younger family member or somebody through. Answer each of the questions, and thanks. See y'all later.